Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ilja and today we're going to talk about some definitions in sexology. Now I know definitions sound really boring, but I promise you it's not going to be as boring as you think. It's not going to be me just explaining you what these words or concepts mean. It's not going to be like that because it's not that easy in sexology. So I have 4 concepts today that I really would like to discuss their definitions of with you. Now, I'd like to play a game with you guys. For these 4 definitions, I would like you to go to the comments. I'll give you some time to think. When I say the definition, just type in the comment section what you think this means, without skipping ahead or Googling it. So the first one is sexual attraction. So what do you think this means? Put it in the comments down below. I'll give you some time. Got it? Okay, now I'm going to explain to you what I could find on sexual attraction. So first of all, when you just Google attraction, you get a lot of physics and stuff, and you know, magnets and magnetic fields and stuff, and I don't know physics, so I don't know. I cannot explain this to you guys, but anyway, it's like the coming together or wanting to be together of 2 things, right? Anyway, sexual attraction is a bit different because it's not clear physics, it's part of humanity. So what I could find from a free dictionary, which was the only one who gave me a clear definition of this word, was attraction on the basis of sexual desire or the quality of arousing such interest. Now, we can still have a discussion on what attraction would mean in this definition, because what does it mean? Do you know it? I don't know it, but I think we all kind of know what it is. We know what we're talking about, although no one has ever really explained it to you what the definition of this word is. That's interesting, right? Now the next one is sexual health. So go to the comments, type in what you think sexual health means, and then get back to my video. Give you some time. Do a time dance. Woo! Okay, yes. Did you get it? So this one actually does have a clear definition, or well, they try to make a clear definition of this one. This has been made by the World Health Organization, and I'm not sure what year they made it. Oh wait, 2006. It's made in 2006. But before 2006, they had long discussions and debates on what this would entail, sexual health. But they came up with the following, and beware, it's not a short definition, it's a long definition, but they wanted to include all of it, I guess. It's hard to define these things, okay? So what they came up with was a state of physical, mental, and social well-being in relation to sexuality. It is not merely the absence of disease, dysfunction, or infirmity. It requires a positive and respectful approach to sexuality and sexual relationships, as well as the possibility of having pleasurable and safe sexual experiences free of coercion, discrimination, and violence. For sexual health to be attained and maintained, the sexual rights of all persons must be respected, protected, and fulfilled. That's a mouthful, isn't it? They try to define it by this, and this is what they agreed upon after a long few years of deliberation. So this is the working definition right now. But there's still some debate whether this is the right definition, because of course with these things you want to include as much as possible, but you also, by wanting to include everything, are automatically also excluding things because you are specifying. You know what I mean? So they try to like go around that by saying stuff as well as the possibility of having pleasurable sex, and it's not merely the absence of disease and stuff like that. So they tried, and I think this is a pretty well-defined concept until now, but still it is not probably the thing that you wrote down, right? So it is probably not what comes to mind for you at first. So therefore it's still a bit of a vague definition. Like, this is the working definition right now, but for everyone it could mean something else. You get what I'm saying? I hope you get what I'm saying. Then what we see now is super interesting, because in the field of sexology we are trying to use the words sexual health less and less, and it starts to go more to sexual well-being, because sexual well-being would be even more than only sexual health. Psychological well-being is also something else than mental health. So sexual well-being would also be something else than sexual health. But what is it? So go to the comments and write down what you think is sexual well-being. Let's go for another dance. Time dance. Woo. Got it? Great. So the fun thing with sexual well-being is that there is no definition yet. Actually, you know what's really fun? This is the subject of my master thesis. I'm gonna try and find out what sexual well-being is, so wish me luck. Also, you guys might see a questionnaire in the future somewhere asking you guys for help on what you think sexual well-being is. So your comments down below would be a sort of test run for this. But yeah, I cannot give you a definition on this one yet, because the World Health Organization is still very much in deliberation on what this would mean, and also this is what I'm gonna study for the next 1.5 years. I'm gonna try and find out what this means, what the definition is or should be. So yeah, I cannot tell you guys yet, but it is very much still thought about, and I'm very curious to see if your answers will be similar or whether they will be super different, because that would be so interesting to see whether you guys think alike or not at all. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I hope you guys are commenting. Then the last one is a very fun one, and I'm sure we all have a feeling of what this is, but I want to know your definition of this. So what is your definition of being in love? Oh, we gotta do another time dance. Okay, you go and comment, I go and do a time dance. You have your answer? Great. So this is also a fun one. I tried to look this one up and I couldn't find a clear definition anywhere. Somehow we all know what it is, or at least we think we know what it is, and we would recognize it when we see it, or like not see it literally, but when we meet it, you know, we will all recognize it, but we don't know a definition of it. So I googled it, but there's just nothing I could find on it. There are a lot of websites, like these women websites specifically, that say 10 things to know whether you're in love and that kind of stuff. But what is the definition? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Also, very often being in love is described in music, in films, in poems, in novels. It is very much described. I think the feeling is very much described, but there is no clear definition of it. And it's very subjective. For the one, it could be this. For the other, it could be that. You know? Also, I think it could be kind of comparable to intelligence, which is also a fun one for definitions. So intelligence also does not have a clear definition, but we all know whether someone is intelligent or not. So we all know what it means. There's just no clear definition of it. I think that is kind of similar to how all these concepts are. So overall, I hope you could see that the goal of this video was not to teach you different definitions of certain things in sexology, but to show you that these things are often up for interpretation. So when you're, for example, having a discussion with someone, always check whether you're talking about the same thing. I've seen so many discussions online specifically where people think they're talking about the same thing because they're using the same term, but that does not mean it has the same definition for both of those people. This is so often the case, and there can be such miscommunication, and those things aren't always pretty. So just for your own sake, try and always check with people whether you're talking about the same things, especially when you're talking about things in sexology or things having to do with sexuality. because there are so many terms. Like, these were 4 of them, but that's not even all of them. Like, there are so many terms that are so hard to define. So I hope you got that from this video, that it's just, definitions are hard. So just always be aware of your possible differing perspectives, okay? So that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And if you want to see more of my content, you can always check out my social media, which will all be in the description. Next week, we're going to talk about gender in preparation of International Women's Day, which is coming up in March. And I have a few things to say about that. So I hope you'll tune in for that. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week. So